All right, I think we'll get our program started. If I could have your attention, we'd like to start our program. So on behalf of the Eden Prairie Chamber of Commerce, my name is Pat MulQueeny. I'm on staff with the Chamber and want to welcome you to one of our favorite programs of the year, our 2015 State of the City Address. We have a great group here today, kind of a fun theme thing. If you're a member of the Chamber and at our breakfast networking event last week with Anytime Fitness, you know we talked kick off the new year with fitness, getting healthy and all those good things. And want to ask, how many of you as a business person want to save some money with your business? All right, so let me direct you over to our sponsor, Xcel Energy, who has tons of information on how you can save money and be energy efficient when it's below zero out here in Eden Prairie. So please stop by their booth. They got some fun things to give you as well as some great information to help you with your business. I want to recognize some of our board members with us today, especially our leadership group. Jeff Holds from Phoenix Technology. Would you stand? He's our past board chair from last year. Did a great job with his leadership, so thank you, Jeff. Katie Misakanis from Rasmussen College, who is our 2016 board chair. Thank you, Katie. And Laura Meister, who's with Sapphire Nutrition, one of our newly elected board members. Thank you for being here as well. Also want to thank our ambassador greeters, David Anderson, Steve Bowman. Please stand, just give a quick wave. Thank you. And then just to highlight a few upcoming chamber programs, we are a great organization for businesses to get to know one another through networking opportunities on top of some other things we'll highlight shortly. We have our weekly Business at Breakfast. The first one of the new year starts tomorrow at Brunswick. So if you have not been there, it's a great opportunity to meet other business people and share your story for leads and referrals. On Friday, January 23rd, we will be at Biaggi's in the morning as we have our legislative kickoff breakfast with Representative Loon and Representative Seltzer and Senator Hahn, given a snapshot of the current session and the wonderful things that our state legislature will be doing on behalf of businesses, we hope. We'll see. And then also would like to have Nathan Reese and Mick Claith both stand. They are our co-chairs of our golf committee. Our golf tournament is right here at Bear Path on June 1st. It will be sunny and beautiful, much warmer than today. And if you're interested in being on the committee, please talk to either one of them or one of our staff, and we'll get you up to date on the next committee meeting that's coming up. And of course, for additional details on all of our programs, our website's the best spot for that, and it's epchamber.org. So with that, I'm going to get into our State of the City address from the Chamber side of things, and then we'll walk into the school district's presentation as well as the city's. One thing, our group comes together. We talk about the great things our city is known for, places to live, business atmosphere, schools, all those great things, and kind of highlighted with our presentations today. So from the Chamber side of things, this is our mission and vision statement. So our mission is to be the catalyst for a vibrant business community, and the vision is to impact our community by promoting commerce and by enhancing our members' business success through leadership, partnership, growth opportunities. A couple things we always like to highlight at State of the City is our business survey that we do annually, and I'm going to walk through some of the results from our recent efforts in that area. So in terms of net income, the graph here will show you that in 2014 compared to 2013, businesses, the trend was good. In terms of looking at previous years, more profitability, more opportunities for our business. Not to say that everybody saw that, but the majority of our businesses had a good year. Number of employees We'll get into some of the education side in terms of workforce training as well as just sheer numbers. But employee counts, again, trending on the positive side. This has continued to do better each and every year. And sales expectations, good growth here as well, coming out of the recession a few years back. Strong expectations for the new year in terms of sales for our businesses. Same with employment numbers, looking at the opportunities for our businesses, more growth obviously than anybody that's talking about decline in employment for the new year, but the majority also staying even. Big question, are you able to find quality employees for job openings? This has been trending upwards in terms of the issues our businesses are facing. You'll see this on a statewide level as well. There's a few things in play here, just the simple number of employee opportunities and not being able to fill spots. When we go out and talk to businesses, a lot of them tell us even entry-level positions, they simply cannot find applicants for that. There's also some skill sets that get covered in terms of people that are coming out of the school system, and do they have the skills for them to step into the roles that are needed for our business community. Number one issue that is impacting our businesses, dead heat between workforce, employment issues, and government regulations. Workforce has kept creeping up from being fourth place 3 years ago, now number one. Government regulations has crept up as well the last couple years. So when you see discussions, we just had a representative from the Minnesota Chamber at our government committee meeting this morning talking about the regulations impacting businesses. It has become more and more of an issue, and our businesses have been making more and more comments about that. Taxes, as you'll note, even though Minnesota, known as a high tax state, lower because the other, not that it's not an issue for our businesses, it's simply stated that workforce and government regulations are a bigger concern for our businesses here in Eden Prairie. The economy, optimism still abounds, so positives here is the economy on the right track. This is up a little bit over the previous years in terms of the optimism, which is a good thing. And business plans to expand facilities the next 3 years. Again, positive trend here. We see in previous years this trend is going upward on the yes, even though overall you'll see that the no answer is the majority of the answers here. But again, our trend is more businesses are looking for opportunities. And items you like most about Eden Prairie, we talk about both from the business community, the school district, and the city, that Eden Prairie is one of those strong communities that others emulate to be, and we continue to see that. Discussions about great business climate, the great area to live in, good coordination, collaboration between the school district, the business community, and the city. For our organization, some of our highlights, we have about 500 businesses that participate as chamber members. Within those organizations, they employ over 32,000 local employees. Our programs on a monthly basis average over 500 participants. We are the largest single city chamber of commerce in the metropolitan area. And then our key focus areas are highlighted here with networking, public policy, community building, and leadership. In terms of partnership opportunities and initiatives, we pride ourselves in working very well with our school district as well as the city. We have a number of their representatives obviously here today, but also participating in committees and in different events throughout the year. And that's critical for us to always be in touch with one another and work together on behalf of the community at large. We also partner with a number of other organizations, chambers and other groups to provide better opportunities for our businesses. And then we always look at innovative ways to do things for our business community. One of the things we highlight here is our Business Resource Center, where our members can provide expertise in terms of providing articles that we'll post online for any business person to read. So if you're looking for information on financing your business, marketing, social media, healthy living, all those types of articles reside on our website and are free for anyone to take a look at. As we said, we mentioned a lot of the programs that we do throughout the year. Some of the big things are trade shows, expos, giving businesses exposure. Our Home Landscape and Garden Expo coming up, and I'll mention that in another slide. But two of our big events, our golf tournament and annual gala, are popular not only for our members, but our two key programs where we're able to bring together a wide variety of businesses. So our Fortune 500s down to solopreneurs that participate in those big events. Our committee structure is designed for our organization, for our businesses that want to get more involved, help us achieve our goals and objectives, to participate in our committees. And we welcome all of our members to do so. And we highlighted those here, anywhere from our ambassadors to our board of directors, government affairs committee, women's networking, young professionals group, etc. Our Home and Garden Show is perhaps our biggest event in terms of sheer number of participants. Working with Audrey just yesterday on how many booth spaces we have left. We have 10 or less. We sell out at 104 booths. And if you're a business person who wants to promote your business to local residents, this is the spot to do it. Last year's attendance, we had about 1,500 people come through. The year before, about 2,000. And we're always kind of in that ballpark. So if you have not been there, it's a free show. It's a great way to shop vendors if you have house projects, landscape projects. But also if you're a business person looking for additional exposure, this is a great place to be. We like to recognize excellence within our community through our Chamber Awards. On top of that, with scholarships. So photoed here is our Volunteer of the Year, Mick Claith from last year. Thank you, Mick, for your efforts. And to date, we've given out over $75,000 in scholarships to help further education with youth and others that want to better themselves. So if you have somebody that's looking to go on to college or is already in post-secondary education, take a look at our scholarship opportunities as well. So some of the top programs from the previous year, we had Explorer and Bancroft speak last March to a packed house, part of our beer programming. The Executive Vice President of Buffalo Wild Wings talked about their business success story. We had the chance to go out to Winter Park and get a tour of Minnesota Vikings headquarters, their practice facilities. And then we wrapped up the year with a program we've talked about for a couple years, and that is our Beer with Beer. And the beer acronym stands for Bloomington, Edina, Eden Prairie, and Richfield Chambers. And we brought together 16 different micro beers to be sampled amongst our members. And Excelsior Brewing, this beer evidently is a popular beer because it's won a number of awards. So now available on tap at Brunswick, if you want to check it out, is the Bitterschloppy Brown Ale. Highlighting kind of those fun events. Never know what's going to happen at some of our events. We have some great giveaways, so not only some great people to meet and network with, but one of our after hours last year, one of the attendees won a 50-inch color TV. And then, pleased to say, last week, Wings Financial, one of our newest businesses in our community, had their ribbon cutting, and we were fortunate enough to be there when they gave away $2,500. So participation and being at the right place at the right time can be rewarding. One of our big events is our annual gala, and our target date right now, we are looking to be at Target Field on November 7th. So a lot of fun atmosphere and interesting dynamics and great entertainment that we are working on and have planned. So it'll be one of those events you won't want to miss. The last year's gala, you can see photos from that. Our entertainment last year was dueling pianos, and literally the group we had was straight out of Las Vegas. So if you're on the Strip in Vegas, you may run into them playing at some of the hotels there. Business community celebrations. As many of you know, we have seen a lot of new businesses coming to town. Rick and I were talking about new buildings being built and new permits and opportunities. So highlighting some of our ribbon cuttings and pleased to have construction going on to a certain extent and additional economic development activity taking place, and look forward to more of that in the coming years. And then to wrap up my presentation, we typically talk about our partnership with the school district in terms of our high school student program, where we have 20 high school members as part of our Chamber of Commerce. We were the first chamber in the nation to provide such an opportunity for our students, and we're proud of that. This past year, in response to the growing concern of future workforce issues and how our business is connecting to education and getting students following a career path that will lead them to jobs within our local businesses, we partnered with the school district for a career fair. The career fair, we had 35 different businesses participate in that. One of our committees oversaw that, worked hand in hand with the high school to put this together. You can see photos here. We estimate maybe on the low side, because there's such a huge number of students, but probably over 650 students that were there and participating. We are in the process of re-engaging with our businesses that participated to hear their success stories. So we know from initial discussions with some of them that students lined up internships and opportunities for job shadows within those businesses, and that's what we want to see moving forward, is connecting businesses directly to those students. Students can understand what career path they can take in the future and plan accordingly. Again, from our government committee meeting this morning, hearing the issues on higher ed costs and in our 4-year degrees the right path, our 2-year degrees the right path. We know from our survey work and meeting with businesses that trades and specific skill sets are needed, and the more and more we can help our students understand the opportunities that are presented, the better off our community will be, as well as our businesses that are striving for the right people in their organization. So with that, I'm going to transition and have Josh Swanson, our Assistant Superintendent, come on up and give us a school update. For those of you that haven't picked one up, we also have Eden Prairie stickers back at the registration table, so I know everybody wants one of those on their car. So take one of those before you leave as well. All right, so please join me in welcoming Josh Swanson.
Well, thank you, Pat, and we want to thank the Chamber for partnering with us. We love partnering with the Chamber and the city, and it's part of what makes this community so strong, I believe. On behalf of the school district and on behalf of Kurt Trigestead, our superintendent, I want to send his regrets for not being able to be here. He had some personal matters in which he just was absolutely unable to attend, and so he sends his hello, and you get me instead. And as a lot of my colleagues know, I sometimes go on and on and on. So our communications director kindly gave me only a few slides to speak to. So I'll try to keep it relatively short, hour or less. First off, I want to recognize we have a lot of our board members here. Renee Jacobus, our board chair, Dave Espy, our vice chair, Holly Link, Carla Bratrud, and Elaine Larrabee. And I didn't see John Estall or Holly Parker come in, but they're here as well. And so I want to recognize them for being here. And then we have several cabinet members that are my colleagues and part of our leadership team as well. Tom Mayer, Executive Director of HR. Sean Hoffman-Bram, our Community Education Director. Jocelyn Swords, our Communications Director. And then Tricia Clare, our Student Support Services Executive Director, and Randy Anderson, our Director of Personalized Learning. I'm honored to be here and get to speak a little bit about the district today, because it's something I'm excited about and passionate about, and I'm truly honored to be here. Last year's presentation was called Focused on the Future, and we really talked a lot about what did this look like, what did the future look like. Last year, we'd spent a whole bunch of time talking about strategic plan and involving a lot of community members as to what that looked like and where we were going. We spent a lot of time talking about referendum and levy and what that would take. And we've spent a lot of time working on those things over the past year. And instead of talking about focused on the future, today we really are talking about welcome to the future. And so I'm going to get a chance to speak to a few of those things that have come out of that work with the strategic plan, with referendum, and where we're at today. We continue to evolve and grow as a community, as a district, and that's steeped in a long history of excellence with this community. And our future is of nothing less. in that excellence, I'd like to spend just a minute talking about the academic excellence. We have more graduates attend college and achieve a degree than any of our counterparts around the Lake Conference. We're so incredibly proud of that. We also have more of our graduating students of color outperform anybody in the Lake Conference. And I know that if Con were here, he would brag from the high school perspective on and on and on about what that means. But what it does mean is we've had 10 of the AP Scholar Awards given to our students out of the last 14. There's 2 per year in the state given. And so we have 10 out of those 14 AP Scholar students that have been Eden Prairie High School graduates. Prairie View Elementary this year was named as a reward school, top 10% in the state, recognized for that academic achievement of students. That's steeped in excellence. We were voted as one of the America's most challenging high schools by the Washington Post, which ranks us in the top 9% of all of America's high schools. When you look at our AP Scholars, 351 this year, up from the previous year. And I want to describe what an AP Scholar is. That means it's our students who have taken AP courses and have received a score of 3 or higher on more than 3 AP exams. I mean, when you think about the number of students taking AP courses and then scoring at levels that are going to get them college credit on AP exams, that's pretty incredible. And of that, we have 18 National Advanced Placement Scholars. These are AP Scholars who have received scores of 4 on all of their AP exams taken. We had 5 perfect ACT scores last year. Pretty amazing out of a high school. And we have the one presidential scholar out of the state, Amy Tan, named out of Eden Prairie High School this year. That's steeped in Eagle excellence. But it's not just academics, because we know that activities, athletics, and how we build community, sense of purpose in our students is incredibly important. Maybe some people heard, we have a football team that's been kind of successful. First time, 4 in a row, state championships for 6A. An incredible job by Mike Grant and his team. Our girls soccer team this year finished 2nd in the Class A double A state tournament. And we have April Bakken named to the All-America team, and she was named 2014 Miss Soccer and the State Player of the Year. Our volleyball team placed 3rd in the state semifinals. Our boys cross country, 5th in Section 6 AA. Our high school quiz bowl team ranked 67th in the world. We have 2 Silver Key Scholastic Art Award recipients. And on top of that, I just heard last week we had several of our high school students actually had an app voted best in state through a Verizon competition. I was able to attend the science fair this weekend. We had an incredible turnout of elementary students, high school students, middle school students showing off their abilities there. And then we just happen to have some absolutely amazing performing arts, music, design and engineering, our high mileage cars, robotics, and all kinds of other incredible things that allow our students to go way above and beyond just academic performance in that spirit of Eagle excellence. It's truly been an amazing year. To talk a little bit about this year, we can't not say thank you. Our work for a long time in this district has been supported by a history of excellence and community support, and not just funding. We have so many people involved in so many different ways, as you hear from the city and Rotary and Lions and Chamber in helping our students and helping build this community. But we also know that financial support's incredibly important as well. This fall, the community renewed that commitment to not only sustaining excellence in our district, but investing in that excellence into the future as well as a community. This year, when you look at our operating levy renewal and increase, question number 1 was voted 64% yes. An incredible investment into just sustaining what we're doing. And that stabilizes our finances, which allow us to do all kinds of amazing things as we think about implementing that strategic plan. But not only did the community decide to just stabilize the finances, but in question 2 with a 56% yes, we're going to invest into students and into that excellence well into the future. I want to talk a little bit about what that investment looks like. We're in the process right now of planning based on the community's vote in investing into excellence and to lowering our class sizes in K-1 so that our class size target is 20 students per class. That's going to put us as competitive as anybody in what those class sizes look like, and more importantly, it's going to mean incredible opportunities for our students as we make sure to prepare each child to be able to read by third grade. And for those people who might have been at Rotary this morning, you heard Jennifer Loon talk about that's one of our primary indicators of students who are going to go on, graduate, and be strongly successful into high school. And so we're investing into our youngest learners in those K-1 class sizes. We're also investing into reading math specialists to ensure that our students have the sound basics that they need to be able to go on to advanced studies and be able to really take advantage of all of those opportunities in our middle school and high school programming. And finally, we're investing into professional development and into some additional staffing into our 212 programming directly around personalized learning, which is a key element of our strategic plan. And a lot of that was supported through iLearn at EP, which the community supported through technology levies the previous year. You know, it used to be that when I talked about iLearn at EP, we talked a lot about the technology that was behind it and this digital initiative. But the interesting part is, as we've gone forward, it's just become part of us as a digital culture. It's just part of what we do. But that one-to-one, and we are one of few districts in the state to have been able to implement such advanced personalized learning techniques through that use of technology, means that each of our K-8 students has an iPad in their hands, which opens up endless possibilities and doors for teachers to be able to take advantage of that and really look at how do we reach each learner right where they're at as we think about how to inspire each student. Our 9th through 12th graders have MacBook Airs in their hand, and we're just a digital culture and digital district. And so now, instead of focusing on the technology, we really have been able to let that technology just fade away and really focus on what are we doing around personalized learning and how do we reach each student to make sure that they can take advantage of all that we have to offer. And so what I'd like to do is switch over, and I'm going to have to walk over here for a moment, to a short little video that will just describe and give you a picture of what teachers and students are saying about that personalized learning in a digital environment.
The iPad has been able to bump up their thinking about that question that they started with. So they start out gathering knowledge, but then they end up having to synthesize and analyze, form their own opinions, make judgments about what's true and what's not true by testing out maybe 4 or 5 sites to find the answers to their own questions.
So having a device has really been able to allow for me to personalize exactly to what learning style each student needs, as well as the content. I can differentiate the content for each student without necessarily the others knowing, which is always helpful, and allowing for them to really shine in the classroom and show what they can do yet be challenged.
I think in the past we might do like a poster or something like that we all draw and write on, but now it's a lot more it's a lot more efficient. And right now we're doing a presentation on our certain section of biotechnology. Almost all of us are using Google presentations, so we're all able to work on the same thing at the same time, and it makes collaboration a lot easier.
They feel success when they are building and creating on their own, and then obviously it's also making them feel successful when they turn around and teach the rest of the class or a partner or a group about what they've learned. And so their success in using the tool comes through in teamwork, in problem solving, in any assessment that we give.
For me, I'm not a super organized person, so I was always losing a piece of paper and important stuff that I needed. But since most of the stuff we have is paperless now, it's all saved online, and it can't really be lost once you lose your Mac, but no one's going to lose your Mac.
What I'm learning is that when they have the opportunity to create and think and come up with the ideas on their own, they are going far beyond what I ever could plan for them.
The students are loving it. It's really been a lot of fun.
So as you can see from what I've talked through today, our future really is here. I mean, you think about the excellence that's taking place inside of our classrooms, and it's because of our teachers and because of our community, because of the support we have, and because of partnerships like the Chamber, the city, school district, that we're able to really think about how do we inspire and personalize for each student in the school district. I want to thank you for taking time today to allow us to share a little bit about our current state of where we're going and what's taking place. And with that, I'd like to introduce Rick Getschow, our city manager, and he's going to spend a few minutes speaking about the state of the city.
Thanks, Josh. We kind of planned it so the technology guy can work on getting my presentation up there when he's done with his, and I appreciate that. And also too, this is usually the last few years when we've done this presentation. I follow Superintendent Dr. Triggerstad, and I like to say, as a fellow transplant cheesehead that he and I both are, I always like to, I know it always draws such a warm reception here. We like to talk about, our fondness for the Green Bay Packers, but I know wherever Kurt is right now, he's looking into Super Bowl tickets for both he and I that will be attending in a few weeks. So I know that that's on his to-do list as well. So, but Josh, thank you. That was a great update. And in terms of introductions too, I'd like to introduce some city people as well. We have our mayor and two of our council members here as well, if you don't mind standing. Mayor Nancy Terra-Lukens, Councilmember Brad Aho, and Councilmember Ron Case. Thank you for being here. And we also have some other city staff members here as well. If you could stand and be recognized, we appreciate your contributions to the city as well. Mr. Lindahl, Mr. Ellis, communications team with Eden Prairie. Thanks. So I'm going to start out with, we're not going to play the $10,000 pyramid game show. We, similar to the Chamber and the school district as well, have a lot of planning that we do and a strategic plan as well. And we also think about our mission and our vision of the city. I think that's one thing also that's common among all the organizations, that you have to have a roadmap to where you're going and a plan on where you're heading, and always stay ahead for the next important thing to stay on top of. I think that's one thing that connects all of us. So we do start at the top with our mission and vision of our community, and our pyramid is built on a base of expectations for all individuals and leaders that work for and are a part of the city, and we build our work plans around that. The focus of the presentation that I'm going to go through on the state of the city is built around a new set, an updated set of community goals that we have. So there's 6 main community goals that the council has reinforced in the last year that I'm going to talk about projects related to. Those that are related to a community well-being and safety, those related to delivering high-quality, efficient services, those that are related to our preserved and beautiful environment in Eden Prairie, our sense of community, our innovative and sustainable practices, and economic vitality. So those are 6 overarching community goals that our city council has kind of moved forward on the city related to that. So I'm going to start out with some projects when I talk about some accomplishments and some plans for the next couple of years moving forward. I'll start out in that area of community well-being and safety. And a program that the city started in the last 2 years was within the fire department called the Duty Crew Program. It was a program where we moved from the traditional sense of firefighting, where if there's a major call, people will leave their jobs or their homes, because for the most part we have volunteer firefighters, as there are in most cities, and go to a call. We came forward with a new duty crew model where we actually staff our 4 fire stations pretty close to around the clock, where we have response from those stations. And after operating that new model for 2 years now, we've seen a 4-minute drop in response times to calls. And with the idea that the average call is maybe in the 7 or 8 or 9 minute range, that's a huge reduction. That's a huge benefit to our community well-being and safety, and a good investment in our community. And if our fire chief was here, he would tell you that every 15 or 20 seconds, with any major incident adds exponentially to the risk. So that's something that we are now getting numbers on, and we're seeing a really positive reaction. Another new program, and I do have some takeaways for you today, so this will be one of them. Another new program is a partnership with the police department and our crime fund to purchase some home medication disposal bags. And I think we've all heard recently about the issue with having prescription drugs, into, whether it be the environment or even, into the hands of people that should not have access to them. So our police department just this last year purchased bags like this that can accept up to 90 pills, 12 ounces of liquid medication that you simply place in that bag and then fill with a few ounces of water, and then you can throw it away in the garbage. And you can pick up those bags at the police department Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, and we've really seen a benefit to both the environment and to the health and safety of our residents by being one of the first to offer these Meds Away, I think they're called, bags. Another new program that's coming in through our fire department is what's called a post-discharge firefighter visit. And that's a partnership with several area fire departments and Park Nicollet, where the fire department would partner with hospitals when people are discharged from the hospital to have a very easy, inexpensive visit from a community EMT to check and see how they're doing after their visit. And there's a lot of statistics nationwide that show that the possibility that you would go back into the hospital within the first 30 days of being released from the hospital can be pretty high, and many times isn't related to an emergency. So there's a new program that we're trying with the hospitals and some of the other fire departments to visit members in our community, residents of our city, that have been discharged from the hospital to check up and see how they're doing. And I'm told that this pilot that was done toward the end of this year has gone so well that there is an agreement to continue to pilot this into the future. The next area, community well-being and safety, has to do with our CERT team, our community emergency response team. We've also started a project where we would visit the home. It's mainly aimed at seniors, but we would visit people's homes. Our CERT volunteer members will visit people's homes and identify any safety concerns that they might have, smoke alarms, carbon monoxide alarms, battery issues, clogged dryer vents, just a lot of those things that, again, could save from having a major call, that the volunteers of our CERT team would go and visit seniors at their homes. And again, it could be, it could apply to anybody, but it's aimed at seniors as well. Another part of our community well-being and safety is our transportation system as well, not just police and fire. So if you look at that picture there, you can see that that's the transportation improvements that we had on Shady Oak Road this past year. That's actually a picture of the first phase of the improvements that were from Crosstown to Roland Road, that involved a 4-lane to a 5-lane road, new medians, new landscaping, new turn lanes at intersections, added lanes to get onto the Crosstown, and was built around the time and in partnership with the Optum development that's up there. And now we're moving into the second phase of that project, which is currently under construction, which takes you from Roland over to Flying Cloud Drive. And we'll have the similar treatment that you're seeing now, including a brand new bridge over Highway 212. So not only are we improving access and transportation in that area around the Crosstown and Optum, it's even stretching into that whole Golden Triangle area as well. So that project started this year, and that will be concluded in the fall of 2015. A project that you may not have heard about that's coming is, if you think about Flying Cloud Drive or Highway 61 down in Chanhassen, there were the improvements in Carver County and Chanhassen toward Eden Prairie, over near 101 and near the Y. Coming next year, the year after, there will be construction of a 2-lane to a 3-lane from the Y to Charleston Road near the C.H. Robinson and through that Hennepin Village area. And you can see a graphic of that, which is going to include some retaining walls and some trails and again, that 3-lane roadway. So that construction, that design is going to continue this year, but that construction is going to be in 16 and 17. And those are some of the larger transportation projects. I think if you're aware too, We've had a lot of overlay projects, and we've had other smaller city road construction projects on Eden Prairie Road, Anderson Lakes Parkway, and others. And we do want to focus on a multimodal system in Eden Prairie. It's not just about the cars or transit. I don't have a slide for Southwest Light Rail, but we all know that that project's currently being discussed. But we do have road projects also, as well as planned improvements to our pedestrian and trail system as well. Our city received a grant from Hennepin County last year to update a master community pedestrian and trail plan, and we received a lot of input from the community. We had several different meetings and outreach events. Actually, Robert, our Public Works Director here, led that effort to lead to the plan that we would implement over the coming years for some new intersection improvements, new sidewalks, trails, and bike lanes. So we are known as a community that wants to be multimodal, that wants to be able to move people around in all different types of transportation. So as I move into a little bit of what Pat talked about earlier with our economic vitality in our business community, there has been a lot of growth in our community, and our economy is doing very well. From a city perspective, we had 2 record years of permit numbers and permit revenue. This past year was our 3rd highest year we've had, and 2014 was the 3rd highest year we had in the last 3 years. It wasn't quite as high as 13 and 12, but it's higher than almost every year prior. So if you look at some of the work that's being done, Stratasys, who was a part of the program here before, did an almost $2.7 million building remodel to their campus. We talked a little bit about Optum and UHG currently building their 3rd building, their 15-story building, and eventually having 6,700 new employees in the community. We have the Nissan dealership, or that Ford, that area with Ford and Suburban Chevrolet. That was $1 million improvement. A New Horizons Academy daycare that was constructed near Fire Station number 4 on Dell Road. If you see the daycare over there, that was a big improvement to the community, as well as SuperValue, consolidating some of their operations, but still putting a few $1 million into enhancing their current operation, and actually what we'll call killing 2 birds with 1 stone, leasing some property that we had at City Center. SuperValue will be coming to City Center to replace the space that was vacated by C.H. Robinson when they expanded their campus in Eden Prairie. And hopefully we've got about 20,000 square feet of space available, and hopefully they'll take all that space at City Center where the city's located, the school, community education there is there, and the city's there as well. And people also always want to hear about what are some of the new restaurants and other businesses. So the mall continues to do really well. I'm sure there are several people in here that have already been into the new DSW store. I can just tell by looking at your feet that you've had a visit there. You've been to People's Organic, one of the newer restaurants in town, and that was a multi-million-dollar development with a People's Organic in Eden Prairie. And again, a buyer lease. When the Rainbow stores closed throughout the metro area, we were just one of 2 cities, I think Woodbury was the other, that we went from a Rainbow to a buyer lease as opposed to being closed or not having a grocery store. So we used to have a Lund's where the library is, but now we have a buyer lease again. So I think we're doing well in terms of our offerings in restaurants and places to eat as well. So it's always nice to add to that, along with Red Savoy's Pizza out of St. Paul. Also, in terms of economic vitality, besides the commercial, the industrial, the business, there's the residential. And our residential community continues to grow. We have one of the largest areas of land left in Eden Prairie to be redeveloped, and that's currently happening right now with single-family homes. It's called Reeder Ridge, and it's going to be more than 100 new single-family homes that are being built just west of Eden Prairie Road between Pioneer Trail and Flying Cloud. If you've driven down there, you see a lot of new homes in that southwestern part of Eden Prairie. And that development is moving along. In fact, I think it was the Star Tribune this weekend that talked about the number of new homes that are being built. And Eden Prairie, for the last 2 or 3 years, is still adding about 100 homes a year, even though we're almost fully built out. Adding to that about 100 homes a year are 36 new lots that have been approved in our green neighborhood. We call it our green neighborhood. And actually, I drove past this on the way here down Scenic Heights in Eden Prairie Road, and the model is up on the first home that is a mix of mid-market homes as well as market rate homes. The market rate homes kind of ring the outer portion of the development, and there's 20 homes in the middle that are mid-market. Mid-market meaning in the neighborhood of $320,000 to $370,000 for a home. So it's not affordable housing. It's not lower income housing. It's in that area where a lot of people in Eden Prairie are asking for that price point, and that's being delivered this summer. So that's a really good project. And it has several green features as well, including rain gardens, pervious pavement, LED lights, no-mow grass, drought-tolerant landscaping, community gardens, and other features within that community garden area that are sustainable. So thus the green neighborhood piece, in addition to the homes themselves being built to a green standard, a green path standard as well. So the other sector in terms of housing and development would be then the multifamily sector. And that's a picture of the first apartment building that's being constructed in Prairie in the last 10 years. 192, just under 200 market rate apartments. And I think when I was here last year, the year before, I was asking everyone to visualize Mitchell Road and thinking about where Buca is and where the funeral home is, and picture an apartment building going up in that area. Well, you can see that now. The construction is underway and it's on schedule, and we're seeing a demand again for both the multifamily housing, the single family housing, the retail, the office, the industrial. So as matches up with what Pat said earlier, we're seeing a growth. Our next area, and this is our video, Josh, if you don't mind queuing that up. Another major goal of the city is to deliver high quality, efficient services. And I think when we first had the goal of your city services being high quality, I think that's what staff brought forward. We did have the council as a whole, and I think this came up, was not only are we trying to deliver high quality services at a high level that residents want, but we do it efficiently as well. So the efficiency was an important part. So we've got a brief 2-minute video giving you a little bit of background on the city budget and service delivery, and then I'll come back with our final 2 goals. I will say as we put this up, if being a chamber member, I don't think there's many videos that can match the MIC Eden Prairie Chamber golf video. I don't think anyone can quite do that justice, but we'll try with this one.
Each year, the Eden Prairie City Council approves a budget that has been carefully examined to ensure that the city continues to provide services and amenities that maximize opportunities for residents and businesses and maintain a safe community. According to a 2012 survey, 99% of Eden Prairie residents reported having an excellent or good quality of life. Our outstanding neighborhood parks, affordable housing, speedy response time from police and fire personnel, and warm, inviting community are a few factors that have contributed toward Eden Prairie consistently being ranked among the top cities in the United States. To continue providing these important services, the City Council approved a 2015 budget of approximately $44 million. The median single-family home in Eden Prairie is valued at about $339,000. That same homeowner pays approximately $96 per month to provide services such as fire and police protection, public works, such as street maintenance, including snow plowing, parks and recreation, including caring for more than 1,000 acres of parkland and nearly 122 miles of trails, and many other services provided by the city. In comparison, Eden Prairie homeowners pay about $285 per month for non-city services such as cable TV, trash collection, the daily newspaper, and telephone. In the Quality of Life survey, 86% of respondents rated city services as a positive value for the property taxes they pay. This rating places Eden Prairie within the top 4 metropolitan area suburbs in Minnesota in terms of residential satisfaction. Here's how we give you the most bang for your buck. Eden Prairie strives to provide residents with engaging, family-friendly events throughout the year, such as the 4th of July celebration, Night Unite, and the Police and Fire Department open house. These celebrations connect families, friends, neighbors, and the entire community. We focus on maintaining and improving parks, buildings, and services that you have invested in so that they may be enjoyed for generations. We thank you for your support and commitment to excellence so that Eden Prairie may continue to be a desired destination to live, work, and dream. For more information on the 2015 city budget and services provided, visit the city website.
In terms of city service delivery and city services, city council has always pushed us to continue to find innovative ways to deliver our service and be ahead of the curve as much as possible. So one of those areas, and I think it was introduced last year, and it kind of goes along with the school district, kind of bring your own device and iLearn. For us, that's the ability to, at anywhere, at any time, report an issue to the city. Whether it's a street light that's out, a issue with plowing, a concern with a pothole, for instance, we want to be able to be responsive at any time of the day. So we have this new app, and if you go to the App Store, whether it's on your iPad, iPhone, Samsung, whatever device you have, Mr. Helmuth is doing that right now, you will look up See, Click, Fix in your App Store, David, because I know you like to report these things. You're on the go and on the lookout at all times for any concern you might have. And it's really as simple on your device as identify the concern, and there's a drop-down menu for graffiti, potholes, a fence, an issue at a park. You can take a picture of it in your phone. You hit 2 clicks, and it gets sent right to the city and gets routed to the appropriate person. So that's an example of kind of a snapshot in time of the potholes that were reported last year. The gray dots are those that were reported and then cleared by the city. So you get a nice email saying, thank you, Mr. Helmuth, for telling us about that pothole near your house. We will take care of it. And then 2 days later, maybe less than that. Actually, the average is less than that. We have been out there. We have resolved your issue. Thank you for bringing it up. So it's this idea of using technology any time of the day to resolve issues with the city as well. Also along those lines, in terms of being innovative as well, we are reaching the end of what we thought we know has been a very important program in terms of energy savings and sustainability in the city called 2040-15. And that's the concept of increasing our energy efficiency in our city facilities by 20%, in our city fleet by 40%, all by the end of 2015. And now that we're a few months away from the end of the year, that chart shows in the fuel efficiency piece, we're pretty close and we're almost there. So the question is, what next? And we're talking about what next this year. That'll be really important to know what that next project is going forward. But to give you an example, you can see over time that savings on fuel, and in our facilities alone, we're saving $250,000 a year as compared to when the program started 8 or 9 years ago. So it's being sustainable, it's being a good steward of the environment, but it's also saving real budget dollars. Another example of that would be LED streetlights. That's another program that we think is being innovative, sustainable, and saving money. We have to pay the bills on all the electricity, on all the lights in the community, even if they're not all owned by the city. So we have about 100 lights that are city street lights that we've already converted to LED, and there's another 1,000 at least or more that are owned by Xcel Energy, and we're going to work with them to get those converted as well. And the idea there is you have something that is a 60% reduction in the energy usage and a 50% savings in a cost savings to the city, and also being sustainable at the same time. So if I had gone back to the See, Click, Fix piece there, our third largest issue that gets reported is streetlights. So maybe if we convert everything to LED, they're going to burn out. They won't burn out as quickly, and it'll be a less reportable issue. And maybe potholes will move to number one. I guess it depends on the weather. It depends on what happens. Another big goal of the city, and also a big key result, is to have a beautiful and preserved environment in the community. And to that end, we are looking at updating our design standards that we have for development in our community. We have been lucky that a lot of the businesses that I've shown pictures of that we've talked about develop in our community in a very, very forward-looking, quite frankly, attractive fashion. And we want to make sure that continues with materials and landscaping and just proper screening. So we'll be looking at updating our code if necessary in the next year or two to allow Eden Prairie to continue to have that reputation as a very preserved and beautiful environment. And also to that end, we will continue to promote and invest in the adaptive reuse of our historic properties and to promote our historic properties. That's built into that goal as well. Also, one other area you might see coming this year would be the introduction of entrance monument signs in the community. I know we talk a lot about wayfinding, but we're also talking about monument signs. If you think about visiting a lot of other cities that are similar to Eden Prairie, and you can tell when you drive in, whether it's on a highway or a county road, that you're entering a community. That's something that we don't have in Eden Prairie, and that's something that we're looking at doing in the next year or two, as well as investing in some monument signage and some placemaking with elements of public art as you enter Eden Prairie. So that's something you can look forward to. The last area that I'll cover in the last few minutes to deal with the sense of community. A lot of people, when they think of Eden Prairie and they think of the city and the schools and the business community, rate a sense of community also because of the events that we have in our city and the amenities that we have. So one of the largest projects that's underway from a city perspective right now is the aquatics facility addition. So the picture that you're looking at there was a groundbreaking that occurred last summer, but if you drive down there now, you can't miss the structure that's going up for the pool addition that's occurring. That will be two 8-lane pools, diving boards, climbing wall, meeting rooms, fitness space, and then also a zero-depth entry area as well, kind of an indoor water park feature. And the first phase of that will be opening this June, and then the next phase will follow next year as well. Investing in our parks is also important. So in this picture, if you can't see the individuals there, on the left it's the mayor, and on the right it's Jay Lothammer, our park and rec director, taking the first serve under the lights at Riley Lake Park as the first tennis courts and pickleball courts that are now lit. So we have play that can occur for pickleball and tennis in the evening at Riley Lake, and that's been a huge success, along with some of the improvements that we made to the softball fields. In terms of parks, we have another major, kind of one of the final major parks coming in the area of the city that is yet to be developed in that southwestern portion of the city would be Cedar Lake Park. That'll be coming, Cedar Hills Park construction that would be occurring in the next year. And it's our newest neighborhood park that would include a play area, open play space, nature trails as well. So that park is in the planning stages right now and will be coming in the near future. We also want to continue to enhance our events. Events are very important to Eden Prairie, so that's from our 4th of July event. We've expanded the event to 2 days, and we've added some music on another day, and we've had, if you were there last summer, we had the Bia Mike's event. We've got public art as a part of the 4th of July, so we continue to enhance our events and then add new events, such as our first annual Ecopalooza, which was at Riley Lake as well. And that was a kind of a green event that we held for the first time last year. And we partnered with the school with some students that held a solar boat regatta race on Lake Riley. So I'm told that was successful, and we're going to bring that again this year and maybe find some partnerships with Earth Day, the school again. The Mayor's Health and Wellness Committee was talking about how to plug into that event. So that's going to be a very positive thing. And the last thing I'll end on, it's pretty much, I would say now, the buzz of Eden Prairie is the ice castles. And this is a good example of a public-private partnership. This was a private event where a group of individuals came to the city, and they were looking for a spot basically in the Midwestern United States. They had previously been near the Mall of America in Bloomington, where they could have their Ice Castles event that's now at Miller Park. So we forged a relationship and an agreement and it opened just this past weekend, and it's open 7 days a week and into the evenings as well. So I've talked to quite a few people that have been there, and we've built some city events around the Ice Castles events, but if you or your family have a chance to head out there, you can do that as well. And I'll finish with some of the recognition the city's gotten. We heard that from the school and chamber as well. We have been recognized by the Star Tribune as our city being a top workplace to work. We've been recognized by several other organizations as being the safest city to live in Minnesota. We've been recognized with being a city focused on well-being and physical fitness and nutrition, as well as a best place to retire and a best place for young families have been some of the accolades that we received from some different organizations. In addition to, on the far left, the financial organizations that continue to tell us that we are a AAA rated bonded city, the highest rating that a city could get to from a financial organization's point of view in issuing debt. So with that, I thank you all for your time and your attention. And again, I always say that there's a couple takeaways. So if there's any takeaway, everybody here, if you want to, you can, for free, pick up a Meds Away bag. You can sign up for a CERT audit anytime. You can download the C-Click Fix app for your phone, and you and your family can head out to Ice Castles. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick, and thanks for highlighting our golf video from last year. I know we had a beautiful day, much like today, right out here in Mick and Nate Reese. Very fun to participate in that video, and actually was a national award winner amongst Chamber of Commerce's. So before you leave, please do pick up items at our registration table. We have the golf flyers there as well for those who are thinking golf already. The app, I'm sure, come March, will be inundated with a lot of pothole reports, but very cool technology use there. And finally, before you leave too, please stop by our sponsor, Xcel Energy, and pick up some of their items and learn more about energy efficiency. With that, a final thank you to Josh Swanson, Rick Getschow for their presentations. This will be rebroadcast on local cable access, so if you or others want to review everything again, and we know you do, please feel free to do that. With that, we will adjourn our meeting. Thank you for being here, and enjoy your afternoon.